Yeah, we're live, bros. All right, welcome everyone. We got Zac back. Zac attack.
Also,
Victoria Dan free again.
Also, now I think
it.
about it, Trump 2020, because I have a lot of money on that man at the moment. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Just no, not
Man,
too much,
have you seen it?
A little bit. Oh yeah, mate. I've been tuning in all day for it. It's been absolutely
so
wild.
close.
I'm pretty sure he's got it in the bag. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got it. Bar election fraud. That's the only thing that I think is going to stop him at the moment.
Have you been paying attention to Oh, sorry, man. Have you been paying attention to what's his name? Shit, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he exposes he goes undercover and he has like all secret cameras, and he like exposes what's going on, like corruption and all that kind of stuff. It's nuts. There's I'm blanking on his name. I wish I could remember. I'll find it and send it to you. But yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Okay. Like, you weren't talking about. I don't think you were talking about Alex Jones, were you? He's great.
No.
It doesn't sound like him.
Oh, did you see him and Joe?
Was. Sorry. Oh yeah, that was fantastic. Joe. I didn't like Joe interrupting him every 2 seconds, and people were praising him for it. Like, oh, you got to fact check him, so people actually got to understand that a lot of the stuff he does say actually is true, and it's not that outlandish. But I'm just like, let the man finish a fucking thought loop before you interrupt him. And then Joe, towards the end of the interview, had the audacity to tell Alex Jones, "Hey, you keep talking over people. You don't let anybody finish a thought." And I'm sitting there thinking, Joe, that's all you've done to Alex this whole freaking show. Like, don't project your bullshit onto Alex. Alex is a man of the people.
That's it.
All right.
It's surprising how much he's saying is actually fucking real, man. Like, how much it is actually checking out the legit.
It's far too much. All right, so what am I going to say? Discussing Vic protest.
I'm just going to lose sound for a second. Hold up.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, send that motherfucker to people. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Piece, but look like a fucking piece of white paper right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
You need to sort your lighting or get a tan or both.
Mate, I'll fucking turn like a tomato, bro.
I dig the mask though. Don't they sponsor somebody?
Yeah, Freemasons, bros, get amongst it. It's part of the clan. When you reach top 23, this is what they give you.
Look, can you just shout out the website you got that from?
It was I don't know the website. It's the police.
The copshop.com.au. Search Freemason for the secret item, the Freemason mask. Yes. Know your affiliate.
Chuck a link to it in the description, mate. Let's get some revenue.
We will. Finn will take a sponsorship. He will sort you out some affiliate marketing. I get
I'm ready to become a level 33. Level 33 Mason. Hit me up. I'm keen. I'll sell out my mother. I'll do it. Let's go. Tell me the secrets. Where are the aliens?
Oh no, they're aliens. They're interdimensional. They don't come from the sky. They're all around us.
Oh yeah. Seems legit. Seems real.
Yeah, it does.
So just spamming the link out to people. Let's see if we can get some people.
That's okay. Get that link out. Make sure people said, because what I want to show, I want people to see what I got to show today. Because I ain't just going to be talking shit. I'm going to be showing you some first-hand experience that I've had here in Victoria, the lovely communist state of Australia, under our Führer, Comrade Daniel Andrews, or we might call him Denial Andrews. But look, and people say, oh, Victoria's restrictions are easing. You're coming out of lockdown. What's there to complain about? A lot. All right, strap yourself in. I got this mouth's got a lot to say.
Oh man! So it all happened with you're organising or you weren't organising, but you're a part of.
No, I do not incite anybody's contact. I do not incite anybody's contact.
No.
That's the first thing I'm going to say. Because otherwise, I'll get a knock on my door. I'll get a knock on my door from Vic Cole in like 2 minutes. You say shit like that, and they'll drag me out of here. No warrant necessary.
Yeah, well, they need one. It's not like you're free or anything.
Yeah. So we had this. Actually, there's one more clip I'm going to get up to get ready for you, because this one's worth showing as well. There's actually a few that I kind of hadn't thought about, but that's okay. This one's worth showing too. So, look, there's been a few, as you were saying, and it was hard to hear you with the mask. That's one of the downsides to those things. It's really hard to have.
That's fucking hot, eh?
It's a piece of shit.
Mate.
Oh, sorry. Got to respect the 33 degrees.
They are our masters, so we got to, mate.
Yeah. So what you were saying was, I've been to a couple of protests recently, some peaceful protests, some what I understand to be lawful protests, but we've had some very interesting police response here in Victoria. Now, the first thing I just want to clear the air with this straight away, because people are like, why in the fuck are people protesting anti-lockdown in Victoria when lockdown's ending and, the restrictions are being eased, and should you guys be taking it easy? Hey, why don't you go to the park, have a few beers with your friends, chill, relax. You can kind of do that now. Well, here's the thing. Lockdown hasn't ended. They've just eased a few restrictions. Think about this, right? How viable is your bar, your cafe, your restaurant when you're running at about 20% capacity, because you've got all the limited seating options and people that can come into your restaurants and cafes, as well as, like, especially bars. Apparently bars make like 75% of all their cash like a couple hours before last drinks, because that's when they're at max capacity. So you can barely afford to keep your staff on. I've been to a fair few restaurants and cafes where it's just the managers like barely holding on. They don't have any of their staff employed at the moment. They're just trying to do everything themselves, and they're doing that just to barely scrape pennies to keep their business alive. We still have industries that, our gyms are still shut, although they are projected to open soon. But listen to this for gyms. One person per 8 square meters is going to be the rule for gyms in Victoria. One person per 8 square meters.
That makes sense.
Churches are still shut. So there's all religious gatherings are still completely and utterly off. You can't do none of that. Look, we still can't. Look, we can visit people's houses now, but in terms of visiting people's houses, it's like 2 adults can visit a house once at a time, right? And basically, if I have my 2 visitors, they have to come from the same house. But once they visited me, they can't visit anybody else afterwards, nor can anybody else visit my house afterwards. And every house should be also keeping a record of everybody who comes into their house. And if you visit people outside, where you could be in groups of up to 10 people, you're supposed to be keeping a record, et cetera, et cetera. So we're still under some fairly strict lockdown. We've had like 5 straight days of 0 cases, 0 deaths. I mean, like in that department, we're doing quite well. But the other reason we're protesting is Daniel Andrews absolutely fucked this state every direction and some. And we demand that he be held accountable for that, because that's what politicians are supposed to do. We know that the whole second wave came from his hotel quarantine fiasco, which got shit down the drain. He denied absolutely everything, so on and so forth. But it's not just that. All right, so then they're talking about things like, all right, how long will masks be around? Okay, we're thinking about easing the mask restrictions, but what I heard Brett Sutton say on radio not that long ago was masks will be mandatory until we get a vaccine. And of course, not just the Victorian government, but all governments Australia-wide will be trying to impose this vaccine upon us. Because what did Scott Morrison say all those months ago when he first announced the whole vaccine deal? It was every single Australia, it'll be a mandatory vaccine, as mandatory as possible. Now, they can't make it as mandatory as possible, but what are some of the things they're starting to talk about? They are talking about stripping away your rights to, like, your benefits. So if you don't take this coronavirus vaccine, we'll stop giving you your benefits. No doubt there'll be a lot of workplaces that you won't be able to go into without the vaccine. So you have a lot of pressure from employers telling their employees they don't get the COVID vaccine, they can't come back to work. You certainly won't be able to travel. That's a guarantee. Once this COVID vaccine comes out, you will not hop on a flight without a COVID vaccine. Now, that's just not Australia. That's just not Victoria. That'll probably be worldwide. All the airline companies are in with this. And we're talking about a rushed experimental vaccine that's, an mRNA vaccine, the first of its kind that's ever been developed for human. We keep hearing horror stories coming out of the vaccine trials. Somebody just died in that trial in Brazil about a week ago. And Oh gosh, there was that other one. You can watch a clip of Bill Gates. He was on CBS News. This was about a month or so ago, where he was being questioned by the news reporter because from the Moderna vaccine trials, 80% of participants got seriously ill, and 20% were in like critical and needed hospitalization. And Bill Gates' response was just, well, it's going to be approved by the FDA, and they're the gold standard, and blah blah blah. So. Look, there's a lot of really bad shit going on with this mandatory vaccine stuff. And Daniel Andrews has said countless times throughout his press conferences that every single Victorian will be taking it. So we're not just protesting lockdowns, but we're also protesting justice for the crimes that Daniel Andrews has done across this whole state, because we feel that he could have done a better job and that he didn't have to restrict so many of our human rights as what he did to do the job that he did. We feel like that lockdowns are only ever supposed to be a temporary measure. It wasn't supposed to be, let's lock you down for X amount of months on end and send everything to shit. Although I think part of that's the plan, because they want to crash the economy to bring in the Great Reset, which we discussed last time. And then the third thing that we're protesting is body autonomy, because nowhere ever should a government be able to subject you to forced medical treatment, especially of an experimental nature. So these are all the issues that we have to get out there and voice our opinions on. We're saying, no, Mr. Government, we're not going to take your damn jab because you tell us that we have to, and they're threatening to strip us of all our rights and liberties if we don't accept this jab. So comes in the lockdown protest. So there was a few very small lockdown protests throughout from about September, and then there was one happening probably about every weekend, and it has been ever since, really. But they've been very small. Not many people have been getting out. The restrictions have been very hard as well. Like during a lot of these times, you couldn't leave your house further than 5 kilometers. You couldn't be out for more than an hour a day. Obviously, you couldn't gather with other people. So it made protesting extremely, extremely hard. So the first thing I'll show you is this clip here. I actually didn't finish searching for this clip, but I found it nonetheless.
So what's happening in this one?
So basically, the restrictions eased, and when the restrictions eased a couple of weeks ago, one of the first things was you didn't need the 4 reasons to leave your home anymore. You could leave your home for any reason. You could leave your home for as long as you like now, not just your 1, and then it was eventually 2 hours. So you could go do whatever you like, so long as you didn't gather in groups larger than 10. And that got announced, those restrictions easing, right before a big protest had been organized, because this is the point where lockdowns extended for so long that it was this one was quite big. So this was at the Shrine. This was about a week and a half ago on the Friday. There was a turnout of the estimates I've heard anywhere up between 3,000 to 5,000. From what I saw, it was definitely a good few thousand. I was there. It was wild. And this is what the police commissioner said the day before that protest. So I'm going to share my screen.
So just before you do that, so with what day was this? How long ago?
So this was on Friday, the 23rd of October.
Wow. Okay. So let me just share this for a second.
Yeah.
With this, I don't know how to bring this up. Maybe let me do it again. So this is the current amount of deaths, well, cases since the 29th of October. Just a drop off. This is Australia-wide. 0. Are you seeing this? So they're happening Friday, the 28th, did you say?
Friday, the 23rd.
The 23rd. So a week before. And then there's nothing. Let's go 2 weeks. All right. Second. Wow.
What's that?
So there's a little spike there.
Is that Australia-wide? 2 deaths Australia-wide? Probably
cases.
with COVID deaths, not from COVID deaths, but anyways.
Yeah. And
that's the other thing. We're trying to demand that we actually get some truth about COVID, because the government's not giving people the truth about COVID. Neither is the mainstream media. The truth, you could just stick into the numbers yourself, and it's right there. The deaths widely inflated. The case numbers come from faulty PCR tests that really, that even in a CDC study, they said, oh, look, people that have just had the common cold or any other flu could potentially test positive for coronavirus. You got false positives, false negatives. People saying that if you run the test enough times, you can get COVID-19 on anybody. So the testing is faulty. The deaths are inflated. And the flu's just magically disappeared. So the other thing that we're also demanding is tell the fucking truth about COVID and stop sending us all into the gutter over the lies that you're telling us. The reason why they tell these lies, it's simply because it's a great way for governments to get control. It's that simple.
Yeah, so, sure. All right, you want to share a video?
Yeah. So this is the police commissioner, Chief Glancy Wiggins. Sorry, I mean Luke Cornelius. And this was the day before the big protest at the Shrine.
No, hold up. Do you want to rewind it? And do you have? I don't think you got sound on.
Don't I? Hang on. Let me try that again. Apologies. I thought I hit sound. Hang on. Maybe I didn't. Let's go Chrome, share audio. So because what happened was with these other protests, they were quite small, and a lot of the protests were just getting arrested and given fines. And basically the justification was, even though protesting is a protected human right, and there's reasons why that's a protected human right in a democracy, people were still being arrested and fined, like, no, you're in breach of the directions, it's a global pandemic, F off kind of thing. So then this was the day before the big protest. This is the police commissioner.
So protesting is not unlawful. It's a human right. And we're now operating in a context where the TRO directions do allow people to leave home for recreation and for socialising. And people can choose, if they want to, while they're doing that, to also voice protest or give effect to protest. But whether you're protesting at home, whether you're protesting down at your local park, whether you're protesting at the Shrine, you must comply with the TRO directions about public gatherings. And the public gathering rules are very clear in Melbourne Metro, including the Shrine, and that is groups of no more than 10, comprised of no more than 2 households, socially distanced 1.5 metres within the group, wearing a mask if you're not eating or drinking or you have a...
Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. So he goes on. But also since then, it could be good to add that the TRO directions are 10 people, but there's no restriction on the 2 household limit anymore. So Shrine, what happened at the Shrine? I'll go through this just really quickly, but it was a great day. It was a great protest. There was it looked like about a good 1,000 odd people standing in front of the Shrine of Remembrance. But on the way there, there's police as far as the eye can see. And I'm talking all the way down Kingsway. There's police cars. There's helicopters in the sky. There's drones in the sky. There's police scattered all around the Shrine. And as you walk in, there's probably a good couple hundred officers kind of there. But they're just letting you walk in. So we have this main protest at the Shrine. Half of the people kind of march out. The rest of us are kind of still there because there's still a few speeches being made. Toffer Field gave an absolute great speech. I've got it on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Basically, the police just started closing in, and we're just like, hang on, what's going on here? And the other thing as well is the police had just started grabbing a few random people out of the protest, dragging them to the ground violently and arresting them. And people are like, hang on, isn't protesting legal? Why are the police just grabbing people and arresting them? Why are they closing in on us? Eventually, they let us all march out. And when we went to go march out, the second we left that main shrine bit, the other thing was there was a lot more people that were there, not just in that main shrine bit, but they've been scattered out, but just watching from the sidelines because, well, there's so many police, they're just like, they're too scared to approach. The moment we marched away from the shrine, you could see, I just turned around, it was just a sea of people. Like, I'm talking, this is where I'm saying the estimates were anywhere between about 3,000 to 5,000. It was insane. We marched down Kingsway. We like had all the trams and all the cars stopped, and they were all beeping their horns, giving us a cheer, like, yeah, like, go on. And then the police actually blocked us off on the bridge. So it was they wouldn't let us pass. And then because we were trying to march to Parliament House. So we kind of just kept walking around and they kept blocking up paths. And then eventually like the whole protest disbands and, you know, nothing really goes on after that. But it was a successful day for us. There were some arrests. Like I said, police just started, all they do when they're arresting people is just giving them a fine, saying they're in breach of the directions, you get a fine. And the police did arrest a few people. But overall, after not having many people show up to protests, finally having this one big protest where a lot of people were saying, all right, we've had enough of you, daddy government. This is what we got to say. That was a great win. And so the next planned protest, big one, was yesterday, Tuesday at Parliament House. Although I came across, there was this other one at Treasury Gardens on Saturday, which was also meant to be relatively have some size. Now, Treasury Gardens is where we really started having some issues. So I was there at Treasury. And this is a video I sent you. So this was on Saturday. And basically, there's meant to be a protest there where some guy's going to give a speech talking about the sale of Victoria to China through the Belt and Road Initiative and some of those other lovely deals that Daniel Andrews did. So I said, yeah, protesting's lawful. I was just at a protest the other weekend. I can lawfully go to this protest. I'm going to go to that one too. And so I get there. I'm wandering around for a bit. I find out one of these journalists from this page called Reignite Democracy Australia, she had actually been arrested for literally they gave her no reason. They just arrested her, put her in the back of a paddy wagon. So she actually got arrested twice. This is where the protest is meant to be on. No reason given. And then eventually, and literally in Treasury Gardens, there was hundreds of cops scattered all throughout the gardens, just everywhere. So I walked past a lot of people that said, "Where's the protest?" I don't know. I want to be here for the protest. Like, look, I don't know. Like, apparently, Monica from Reignite, she's been arrested. So is Morgan. So like, we couldn't really figure out what's going on. Eventually, are you still here, Finn? You've dropped off my screen. I'm wondering if Finn's actually still here. But I mean, for the purpose of the stream, did you try to send him a quick message? All right, I'll keep talking anyways, guys, just in case Finn's gone. But he's back. He's back. You made it.
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming through? This fucking Microsoft, bro. Do not buy Microsoft. It's fucking shit. $150 for this fucking webcam, and it keeps cutting out, bro. I don't know what the fuck the deal is. Yeah, do you want to share that video? I can still hear you, so if that happens again,
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll listen short.
Leaving.
So, anyways, we see Monica get released from the police car finally, and then she walks past us and goes, "All right, I've just spoken to the police, and they've said we can give our speeches so long as we don't gather in groups any larger than 10 and we remain socially distanced. If we do that, we can have our speech and move on." And there's police kind of standing there everywhere. And we're kind of like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go and go listen to this speech. And this is where it just turned into absolute funny buggers. So I'm gonna find. So I'll show you what happened, and then I'll kind of explain it a little bit. So this is after we've gone in to hear this speech. Share the screen. Is it? I think it's this one.
Make sure you guys down this time.
Oh no, hang on. Is this showing the right screen? Which screen?
Yeah.
No, that's not the one I want to show you just yet. Hey, I should have just. How do I stop share screen? Goodness, I need to be better at this, right? We'll go application window. We'll just share.
Been away too long, mate.
Just share entire screen. Fuck it. I got nothing to hide, people. I got nothing to hide. Well, except for that. That's just, anyways. So this is my footage. I was live streaming at the time. So let's watch some of this. So this is after we were told we could have these speeches. See all these police?
Terrorist threat, you know that, right?
Let's see if we can go.
Yeah. We're the new terrorists.
So can I just say, first of all, it actually looks like there's social distancing going on. There's a fair amount of space in between people right now.
And we're not a group of 10. We are not a group of 10. Like, there's maybe, I counted 15 people total. But then you can hear them, the police, move in on the lot.
What threat are we posing here right now?
And look, you see more of them start coming.
And the horses. Fuck those horses.
The horses too. Look, the bike patrol's there. At this point, somebody had actually tried to run out the back end, and police stopped him and said, "No, you got to get back in the circle."
What the fuck?
So at this point, I start questioning what the fuck's going on, and I talk to a police officer. Listen to this, because I think is this where I talk to the police officer?
This is very strange.
It is very strange.
I can't see those cops on the bikes and not picture Jump Street now, hey? I just pissed myself.
Okay, here we go. Hang on. Here we go. This is me talking to the cop. Sorry, I mean to interrupt, but like listen to what the cop says to me.
Closing in.
Sorry?
Just asked you the question. What's with the closing in at the moment? I'm slightly confused.
At the moment, we've got a gathering larger than 10.
Well, sorry, I'm actually here by myself and fully in line with the show directions. Sorry?
I'm not going to get into an argument.
I wasn't trying to argue. I'm just trying to say I'm fully in line with all the show directions is all I'm trying to say.
So yeah, I'll skip through this a bit, but as you see, they keep police keep walking in.
I'm in complete compliance with all of the show directions right now, and I'm being.
That's so fucking many of them.
I'm not allowed to leave.
And they just kept slowly creeping in. It was like some horror film shit.
Yeah.
So they keep closing in. you know, keep closing in. And then eventually they get so kind to say, sorry.
What's the actual crime though? Like, what's stopping anyone from just walking out here? Like, what's the problem?
This is what I mean. It's in my mind, this is unlawful detention.
Of course.
This is and it's a restriction of our right to freedom of travel, freedom of movement. And at this point here that I'm about to show here, this is where they're like, all right, if you stay in this circle, we're going to arrest you. Otherwise, put your hands on your head. You can leave, but we will process you, which basically means we'll give you a fine. But also I found out later on from another police officer at the next event that being processed is actually being detained in custody until you handed your infringement. So it's actually really not all that different to an arrest. So in that instance, arrest powers are like the last powers police officers are supposed to be using. So I don't know what the fuck he called this, but you know, you'll see this. They're like, all right, you can leave. And then I get my hands
behind the back. What? Oh, wait, what am I?
Yep, hands behind the back, like a fucking criminal. Because I was in a gathering.
Rewind it a bit so we can actually see the full arrest happening. Like, so rewind it before this guy gets caught, because I think there's a bit where he says, you know, what to do. So just before that. Yeah, go from here.
Now, should we count all the police officers?
Okay, so I just counted 17 people inside the circle then. 17 people inside this circle. Look how far apart we all are from each other. There's a few people on the park bench over there. People there. Somebody could have just been walking through at the wrong time and got caught up in this.
I don't know. There's too many.
Wow. It's absolutely ridiculous. What the fuck? Everyone's social distancing. So what is actually being broken right now? Like what law or what rule?
Nothing in my mind. They just said this is now a gathering larger than 10 because they closed in on us and called us a gathering.
But everyone's keeping the space, right?
Apparently, if we put our hands on our heads and leave, we can leave without being arrested.
See, everyone just whacks their hands on their head.
Yeah, of course.
I
Everyone's
did too.
complying. No one's
like,
there. And why are they assaulting this guy now? Why are they touching him? Why are they assaulting everybody? I'm so confused.
I don't. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
And so now they're assaulting you. So now they've all committed a worse crime than anything that you guys could have been accused of. Is that right?
Yep. I'm in breach of the show directions. So hands behind the back.
How?
That's all right.
How though?
I can pop it in there for you.
Gathering. Like I said, it was a gathering larger than 10.
But and so is every... Dude, have you seen my workplace? There's
no. But here's the thing:
people about a meter away from one another. There's no way we're complying. There's no way.
You go to any park, and there are people littered everywhere, right? Exactly. You could call any of them, like with the level of distance between us. I don't know how you call us a gathering larger than 10. And the police officer started telling me, no, protesting is lawful, because I was questioning him on all this. And he says, no, protesting is lawful, but to my understanding, it can only be a maximum of 10 people. And I'm like, well, what? No, that doesn't make sense. It's groups of 10. And I was like, and we weren't a group of 10. I was telling him this. And I want to show you this next clip. So this is from actually Monica, one of the organizers. And this, because her and Morgan, God bless him, he's brave, actually just decided to stay in the fucking circle.
I can't see it, man. Can't hear it.
Is it not Chum?
Yeah, do you want to rewind it? Rewind it a bit?
Okay. Oh, no, it's all right. From here is fine, because I just want to show you how they handle Morgan on the left here. Watch how they handle Morgan.
I've been arrested twice already. Where are you going? Are you staying in the circle?
Oh, we've got no choice now.
So we've been told that if we stay here, we're going to get arrested. So here we go.
For what?
Move.
Look at this. Straight for the neck.
Don't fight it, Morgan. Don't fight it, Morgan. It's okay. Are you going to take a hat? I'm next. You can just arrest me. It's okay.
I don't say that. What the fuck are you talking about? It's not okay.
You can arrest me.
No, put your hands on
I'm not putting my hands on my head. I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist, guys. I have work permits. I have an exemption for my mask. I was told that I was allowed to be here. So I'm not putting my hands on my head because, yeah. I'm a journalist.
An arrest crew?
Protected under federal legislation of implied freedom of political communication. I'm a journalist. I have a
I
work
love that she knows her words.
exemption for my mask. Are you sure you want to arrest me?
Oh, she knows the law too. I've studied this law before.
My father has it, and he's
So yeah, she actually doesn't get arrested at this point, but she'd already been arrested twice that day. Twice that day, she'd already been arrested, and they couldn't actually give her a reason. They just wanted to shut down the free speech because what were we talking about? We were talking about Daniel Andrews selling Victoria to China. That's what and so what happened on Tuesday, yesterday, was essentially the same thing they did to the 15 of us, but to about 500 of us outside Parliament House. And do you want to know how crazy that got? It got so freaking crazy. A member of the upper house of Parliament in Victoria came to our protest because he wanted to stand up for human rights, and he was also the Black Lives Matter protest. You know, he's somebody who's for human rights. This is what happened yesterday. We started off with this peaceful protest outside Parliament House. Then I could see the police just started closing in, and I thought, they're not really going to pull this shit on this larger group, are they? And they just started closing in. And then the next thing I see is this guy get dragged out, and then everybody started skitzing, and then the cops just pepper sprayed about 30 people, right? So police instigated violence. They grabbed a guy by the throat, dragged him out, then pepper sprayed about 20 odd people. And then the speech is finished, and the person making the speech, we're talking about 15, 20 minutes into the protest at this point. The person making the speech goes, all right, it looks like the police want us to leave. We're finished making our speeches. Can we peacefully leave? Not a word. Not a word. So they circled in, kept closing in on us, keep squashing us into like a smaller place. And over the course of about 4 hours, no exaggeration, 4 hours, slowly dragged people out one by one. It was a hot day. People are stuck in the sun. People are asking for water. You know, people need to go to the toilet. There were people fainting. And police are just coming in one by one, grabbing people by the neck, dragging them out, arresting them, and then taking them to get a fine for 4 hours. And you know who else got arrested in that group? The member of the upper house of Parliament. He was stuck inside this circle with us for all those hours. A member of Parliament came to show his support for us, got arrested with us, got held a political prisoner for 4 hours.
That seems fucking sus, man. Well, he's getting the votes next time, it seems. That's so. Going back to your one though, like when you were talking to the cops, like did you try and talk to the cops and explain to them that there was no breach happening, there was nothing occurring? Like, what was their response to that?
Oh no, so that's what I said. So I said, "There's no breach. I'm here by myself. I'm not in a group of 10 with anybody. We're socially distanced. I didn't have he's like, you know, you got your mask on. I'm like, yeah, I've even got a freaking mask on. I hate these things. I got one on because I don't want any trouble with you guys." And I'm like, so what's the deal? And he goes, you're in a group larger than 10. Or he didn't even. I don't even think he said group. I think he even said he had the audacity to say gathering larger than 10. And
but you're at a park though. Is that right? Okay.
At a park.
So you're not allowed to be at a park.
Don't know.
What the fuck?
This is where the inconsistencies start dropping in. This is where I'm like, the only reason we're getting this treatment is because of what we stand up for and what we have to say. Nothing else. There's no other reason why we get this treatment.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm trying to imagine that happening here in Queensland. There is no fucking way. Like if that even slightly happened here, if the cops were at the fucking morning briefing here in their little house having their chats, and the fucking boss comes in and is like, hey, we're going to circle these people and arrest them. Every single cop in that room, in that briefing, is going to look at that boss and tell him to go fuck himself, because that is the most ridiculous shit ever. There is no way any cop here would fucking listen to that. Every cop I've had a chat to here, I can have a normal conversation to, like a normal person, because they seem to be somewhat grounded here, where they actually can talk to people. So I don't understand what the fuck is going on with your cops down there, where you can't have a conversation with them and you can't talk to them, and they don't understand reason. They all seem to be believing this. Now, I'm just gonna assume that they don't know that the gathering was there for Daniel Andrews selling out to the Chinese. I'm going to assume that. I don't know that, but I feel like if they were aware of that, they definitely wouldn't be arresting you, right? Because that seems fucking ridiculous. So I'd love to know what the fuck is going through their heads where they think that this is okay. Like, I don't understand from their point of view why they're doing this. It seems so fucking dumb.
So what I'm going to say is, if we were protesting for any other cause, we would not get that treatment. The reason why there was a Treasury Guard and so many police is because that protest was a Facebook event. They knew that protest was happening, and they knew exactly what that protest was about. That wasn't just those officers just happened to be there that day. No, like, I'm talking, there were riot police, mounted police, bike police, like everywhere. They only bring that out for us. You know, I didn't see any footage of mounted police officers at the Black Lives Matter protest. I didn't see any police brutality, the Black Lives Matter protest. Not even an arrest, not even a fine. Not one.
So fucking strange.
At the Black Lives Matter protest.
Here's the thing that's also fucking annoying. Because I'm a fucking taxpayer, I now have to pay for the people who are getting assaulted by the police. When they now sue the police, and the police are going to have to pay those fines for assault, okay, I now have to pay that. I don't want to fucking pay that. I don't understand why I'm not going to have to pay for cops being fucking assholes. It's such a fucking illogical situation to me. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, there is no way that when everyone takes that to court, that the cops are going to fucking win that. That is clearly assault. In every situation, those cops are committing a worse crime than what everyone else is there accused of. Because you can physically see on camera the cops assaulting people. That's straight up assault with no justification. There's no law that's in breach that I could see. I'm no fucking lawyer, but everyone was fucking distanced. Everyone was complying. There was no out of the norms of a normal life. So those cops are going to lose. As soon as that goes to court, every one of those cops is going to lose. So now I and everyone I know, everyone who's a taxpayer, is now going to have to pay fucking money for that. What the fuck? So they're just draining money right now. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Well, think about that. They 15 arrests at Treasury Garden Saturday, right? For about 200-300 cops and riot police and mounted horses for it. That was going to be a completely peaceful event. There's no need for like that level of police presence. Obviously, if there's any protest of any form, there's going to be some level of police presence because they need to make sure that it's like, you know, that they're able to keep a handle on the situation. But this was a completely peaceful protest. In fact, it wasn't even a protest. It was Morgan said about 2 words before the police started circling in on us. Like, you can't do anything there. And the other thing as well is, now I didn't see this as much at Treasury Gardens, but yesterday I saw this. Those police officers were ashamed of themselves, and you could see it in their faces. None of them wanted to do it. None of them wanted to be there. And I spent a good amount of time telling them, like, you know, when you're just taking orders, but you're actually breaking the law, you're personally liable and culpable for that. Because what they did to us yesterday, holding us there for hours on end and not letting us leave, and then that's unlawful detention. That's false imprisonment. Like, they're literally breaking the law. And I'm just looking there because these are young police officers. I was like, look, you haven't studied like the law. Like, it's going to become a police officer. You don't study the law. You don't get a law degree. No,
they get taught the Constitution for about 2 weeks. There is no way you can learn the Constitution in 2 weeks. It's not possible. It's not possible. No. That book is fucking thick, man. It's not happening. If there's any cops here watching, by the way, go read a book called Battalion 101. They're the first battalion in Germany that started arresting the Jews. And all of this book is the psychology behind how the Nazi Party convinced normal police, normal citizens, to start killing Jews. And they did it via psychological games. If you go read that book, any police officers out there, I urge everyone to read it, actually. You'll fucking understand what's happening here. It is so similar. They start off with these small things and they psychologically build it up to now you're in this group of people where you're all in it together. Every cop is in it together. And it's like, if you leave, if you pull back, there's this psychological thing now where you're betraying the team. So now the boss can come in and keep, you know, upping the ante every time and making it worse and worse gradually to the point where you're killing people, or assaulting people in this situation, right? And you can't not then assault someone as well because then you're leaving all your friends behind. You're leaving all the other cops behind to then assault on your behalf. So then when you go back to the station at the end of the day, everyone fucking hates you and you're out of the fucking team. It's a psychological thing. So Battalion 101, everyone go fucking read it. It will fucking do wonders for you. It's a hard read. It's a very hard read because it's talking about killing Jews, which is very fucking difficult to hear. But holy shit, when you understand the psychology behind how they did it, it is fucking nuts. And the similarities here, man, it's brutal.
I don't know what they're doing to them, but I feel like they're almost brainwashing them to some level. But like I said, a lot of these people, young constables, right? And I'm looking at these people, I'm looking at them, these officers, because here's the thing, right? So they're arresting us being in breach of the chief health officer's directions, and for their grounds, right? We're a group larger than 10 because we're a large protest, right? But they did say we could have our protest so long as we applied by the directions. But then they didn't let us do it at all. And what they did was they closed in and they kept making it smaller and smaller and smaller. So they've actually made it impossible for us to social distance. But not only that, the police officers are now standing with their arms linked together. Like no social distancing there between them either. Hundreds of police officers. And then this was their tactic for the day. So they had the wall of policemen, kind of like you saw the circle around us, but like a wall of policemen around all of us. And then they would have about 5 police officers in the public something response team, whatever, public order response team, I think is what it's called. And they were kind of like dressed in like all black. And 5 of them would come through. One would grab you by the neck. Similar to how you saw Morgan. I'm going to show you some more footage in a minute because I want to show you some of the arrests from yesterday. And then the other 2 would grab you by the arm. Someone would like tie the cable ties around your wrist, and they literally arrest you, cuff you, take you over to a table, give you a fine, and then send you on your way. But they were doing that one by one. And it's like, so where's the social distancing? If our risk to the public right now is spreading the coronavirus, aren't you actually putting us at more risk by not letting us leave, by closing us into a smaller space, by linking arms with each other?
Well, it becomes obvious at a certain point that it's not about the corona. It's clearly a show of
clearly
power.
It's clearly what we are protesting about. Happening to us. And I'm looking at this police officer. I said, your seniors gave you orders, but did they tell you that in doing what you're doing right now, you're in breach of our human rights? You're breaching our freedom of movement. You are falsely having us falsely imprisoned. This is unlawful detention. Like, these are things you can be charged for. You can be sued for.
Well,
and not to mention the assaults. I said to them, it's like, you got to realize that at this point, you guys are the ones breaking the law, not us. We're not breaking the law.
That's why I'm so angry, is because I'm fully aware of this. And now, as soon as the fucking fines start coming in, that's my fucking taxpayer money that's going to be paying that off. It's like, what the fuck? Why? I don't look. It's very obvious. Man, there needs to be some sort of education happening to our police where they get taught the actual fucking rules of our society. Because right now, it is evident as fuck that none of them know the fucking rules. It's so fucking stupid. They're literally the rule enforcers, and they don't know the fucking rules.
What the fuck? I'm glad you said that, because the officer that processed me on yesterday, while he was taking me to the table, couldn't actually tell me what specific direction I was in breach of. I asked him many a times.
Well,
and he couldn't tell me. It wasn't until I got to the table. They told me, gathering larger than 10. And I was like, well, actually, I'm here by myself. And then, got through a bit of the hurdles. And then I said to him, I was like, I wasn't in a gathering larger than 10. But you guys just started circling in on us and squashing us together and making it impossible for us to social distance and actually turning us into a group. And he goes, yeah, that's what we did. And I'm like, so there you go. Now, I happen to be wearing a lapel mic. I haven't listened back yet to see if I can hear his voice. But that police officer at the table admitted to me that, yes, our tactics was to squash you all into a group so you couldn't socially distance and arrest you all. There were 400 arrests yesterday. There was probably about 700 protesters total and about 400 arrests.
Wow. See, that's a lot of fucking money, man. That's a lot of fucking money that's now going to be fucking issued out. Because these motherfuckers don't know the rules.
Well, nobody's going to be paying their fines. That's the other thing. Well, they're not getting any money from this.
I don't think anyone is worried about that. I think what I'm fucking concerned about is now every single one of those people can now sue every one of those fucking cops.
Yeah,
every one of those cops has now broken the law.
And people got all their names and badge numbers and put them on YouTube videos. So like that's all there to get.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, as soon as court comes to them, they're fucked. Absolutely. I want
to show you a couple of the arrests from the weekend. So this guy got a bit of good footage. So this was kind of early on. You can kind of get a gist of how they were arresting people. So see how they got us all surrounded?
A group of public order response to walk through and grab us. Luke O'Neill there. Your police commander.
Now, that was a bit of a lighter one. But I saw a couple of... But there were a couple more that were a bit harsher than that. So he got taken fairly lightly. But you see, there's 5 officers. They go for the neck first. 2 of them grab your arms. Now, this one was a bit disturbing. So look at this one. You've got an old man who's like 70 years old holding rosary beads in front of the cop.
Leave him alone! Leave him alone! Leave him alone!
Wow.
Pieces of shit! All of these dogs.
You devils! That's another one. But this was the early in the day. So I saw the first person that got grabbed, and the second they grabbed that first person, they just went for the pepper spray. And this was some footage of that. So. Yeah, let's watch that again. Like, look at him just spray everywhere. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Pure peaceful protest with violence instigated by the police, and then through that pepper spray. You see that?
That's fucking nuts, man. I don't know how the fuck that's happening. Jesus didn't help him.
Now,
that's brutal, man.
But that's just trying to give you a bit of a flavor as to what was happening with the arrests on the weekend. And what you could see is we had a completely peaceful protest. Police just started grabbing people. Police instigated violence. Now, my understanding is when you use the pepper spray, if an officer unloads their pepper spray, I don't know what it is for Victoria, but I know from Tasmanian police officers, because I used to know a few, is that if you pepper sprayed somebody, you had to stay with them for, I think, at least till it wore off, or at least an hour or 2 hours or whatever. And you had to give them water. You had to give them proper treatment. All right? No, in this instance, those dudes get pepper sprayed, and then guess what? They're stuck in the heat with us for all those hours until eventually it was their turn to get taken away, as you saw with the dragged away.
What the fuck, man? I don't like. I can't. I keep trying to see it from the cops' point of view, right? Because I'm always trying to rationalize it from both sides, and I can't understand why the fuck the cops are doing that. Like, it doesn't make. Like, if I was one of those cops, I'd be like, I'm not going to spray them because they're at a protest. Like, where are the fucking orders coming from? And who the fuck are the retards that are fucking carrying out those orders? Because that's the dumbest shit.
I think some of these orders come from him.
Off, right? Yeah, but you tell him to fuck off. As soon as he gives you an unlawful order, you say, fuck off. I'm not breaking the law for you, dickhead. So I don't, like, these cops need to fucking stand up and realize that they're the ones that enforce the fucking constitution of this country. And if they don't know the fucking constitution, then they should go fucking read it and then come back and be a fucking cop. Like, what the fuck, man?
They need to learn. They don't have any clue as to the rights they're supposed to uphold. And I'll just show you one more thing now, just while I've got it here. So from that same video I was just showing before, that reporter. Oh, sorry, you got.
Is that me? No. I don't. Remove. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
That's
just to give you some contrast. So this is from that same video I was just showing before. This is St Kilda Beach, the exact same day, because the reporter went to St Kilda Beach later on, and this is St Kilda Beach. Look at all these people gathered around. No masks, no social distancing.
No.
Same day.
Did you know that there was a protest in the city just recently this morning? Did you know about it? They circled about 500 protesters and arrested all of them at once. It took about 4 hours. It's kind of, I've come here today to show the difference because, yeah, they arrested
people here that didn't protest.
They arrested people because
I didn't even know there was a protest in the beach, but I think they should open up because now with the 25Ks, everybody comes here or go like to the beaches around the area, and then that nobody's social distancing.
Did you know that like
Yeah. Look at all these people though. What a joke. So if we were such a risk to the public health, shut down fucking St Kilda Beach. Be consistent. But no, like I said, it's got nothing to do with health and safety. It has everything to do with what we say.
Politics, man. Yeah, seeing those videos, I mean, it's very clear that it's politics at that point. Like, it can't not be politics at that point.
Yeah. I saw another video from St Kilda Beach later that night, and there was just some DJ playing on the beach, and about 30-odd people just gathered around having a dance. Like, yeah, like we're fucking in a nightclub, like gathering larger than 10. What's that? I don't know.
I got one here. This is Avi doing an interview, which is, fucking gold. And he's obviously ripping on this guy here. Well, he's not ripping on this guy. He's using this guy to rip on.
I know who both those guys are.
Oh, really?
Avi, and then you got Raf Fernandez. Raf's been one of Melbourne's kind of warriors during these freedom rallies.
Oh, nice. Anyway, so this is him at the march, and obviously everyone is fully aware of who Avi is and is all there because they know that the laws are fucking bullshit. So look what everyone.
Yeah, this is the first one I was talking about.
One case, oh yeah. We should all be in lockdown because of one case. Hey, yeah, just destroy businesses.
Free Victoria.
I have no idea what happened there. I was just here to school this lad to explain to him that one case is so deadly. That we must put our lives up to the sea.
Yeah. That was last Friday. That was from last Friday's protest, mate. That was better than my birthday. I'll tell you what. When you've got 3,000 people marching up Kingsway, screaming, "Sack Dan Andrews, sack Dan Andrews, sack Dan Andrews." Oh, man, I've had it stuck in my head ever since. We had a bit of that just yesterday too, but look, there wasn't much. There was still some chanting, but not much after we got circled in because I think the police just killed our morale and everybody was just left in disbelief.
I think that's what they're there for at the moment, man. It doesn't seem they're there for any other fucking reason. It's so strange, though, because obviously the beaches would get shut down if this was actually about COVID. But this isn't about COVID. This is clearly about politics. There's obviously deals going on with your mate Dan and China. I don't know what those deals are, but it's very clear that protesting those events are not allowed. Otherwise, why the fuck is the beach not getting shut down?
Yeah,
why is work still allowed? Why can I go into an office of 30 plus people and be sitting half a meter away from everyone and it be fine? Like, the fuck is going on there? Seems fucking sus.
Shut down everything. We've had 0 cases for 5 days. Shut it all down. We need lockdown 5.0. But you'll notice the rest of the world's going into lockdown now too. A lot of Europe's going into their second phase of lockdowns. Do you know some of the interesting things? Everyone's going, oh my God, they're going through a second wave in Europe. Well, if you actually look at the increase of cases to the increase of testing that's actually being done, there's a much larger increase in the rate of testing as there is in the rate of cases. And you'll notice in all these countries that are starting to get locked down, if you just look at the statistics, you'll see the cases has gone up, but the deaths are staying relatively stable. And so they're justifying a new wave of lockdowns based on cases. They're only finding the cases because they're doing mass amounts of testing, and the testing is absolutely flawed. And the leaders of these countries are very happy to put them into lockdown because they're all signed up to the same global deals that says, hey, we've just bribed you all this money. You're going to be part of the New World Order. Crash your economy so we can put in the Great Reset and turn everybody into fucking slaves worldwide.
Yeah, man, it's so fucked. Do you want to explain to people what the Great Reset is?
The Great Reset. Well, I think probably the best person to hear it from is Klaus Schwab. We watched a bit of him last time, but look, just to put it into a nutshell, what the UN's plan has kind of been, which if you ever get into UN Agenda 21 or UN Agenda 2030, is we need to make sustainable development goals, which includes like reducing the world's population because we're overpopulated. We need sustainable development. They want to move us all into cities, take us away from the rural areas, move us all into cities, so we're kind of all living in like high rises. We're not supposed to own any property or assets anymore, and they want to try and feed us. They want to take control of all the food. And there was a very controversial bill that went through New Zealand last week that I think's gone through a second reading. The organic something bill, but essentially through this bill, it's going to make it hard to actually be able to, or I think even there's a ban on being able to like plant your own food. They're making it so you can't barter for seeds and things like that. And so essentially what they're trying to do is the government's trying to take full control over who can grow food. And it also allows like police, they're going to set up a special force for this, to actually be able to search search people's farms without warrants to see like what they're growing and stuff like that. So they want to take over the food. But also they want to introduce a global currency, a cryptocurrency. They want to give us all universal basic income. So a lot of our jobs are going to be extinct, either because AI takes over those jobs, or they're just no longer necessary. And so they want to put us all on a universal basic income. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Some of us will still work our jobs, but they want to take away all of our property rights. We're not supposed to own anything anymore. There's this So there's these videos that discuss what the world 2030 could look like. And I'm just trying to think where I've seen these cartoons, but that the World Economic Forum is probably the main thing that you want to read up on. The World Economic Forum, the UN agendas. But the World Economic Forum, they put out a series of these cartoons, right? And, like literally it's like, hey, you own nothing, but you get this sent to you. You just hire things, like even down to like your kitchen equipment. You don't own things in your kitchen. Right, you hire them, and how is this masterfully going to be played out? Well, this is kind of what I suspected, and this is what I've heard from a few sources now that they're not verified, but it's just what's been going around. This one came out from the Canadian Parliament apparently, that essentially there's going to be not a second wave of COVID, but a mutation of COVID that's going to come out that is actually. Yeah, so you're looking up this bill that I've been talking about. Yeah. So did you want me to keep going, or are you gonna just?
Yeah, no, keep going, keep talking.
Yeah. So basically, there's going to be a disease that's going to be worse than COVID. It's going to be like COVID. It might be COVID-21. That's what they might call it. Watch out. If they call it COVID-21, then what I've heard about this is on the money. But basically, it's a stronger version of COVID with a higher mortality rate. Because basically, the thing about COVID is now that we have all the numbers and the statistics, we've realized that it's a piece of piss of a virus. It's essentially just the flu. And why the hell did we overreact to it? Now, there are still world leaders treating it like as if it's a Spanish flu, which is why you have Boris Johnson going back into lockdown, and France going back into lockdown, and all these other places going back to lockdown. So basically, because of that, people aren't taking the government shit. So there's going to be a worse disease with a higher mortality rate. So if more people are actually now dying from it, then more people will start taking these restrictions and these lockdowns more seriously, right? And then this is going to be the kicker. The lockdown's so bad, the whole economy's crashed, everybody's absolutely fucked up because everybody's going to lose their jobs. Like the economy's going to be, if we get a worse virus and we have to lock down for months on end, a lot of these businesses are barely surviving now. And then we're also going to be going through things, and these things are already starting to happen at slower rates, but you'll see them really start to happen if this goes on, which will be like our trade is going to break. There's going to be breakdown in trade. We're going to experience food shortages. There are certain countries that can't actually make enough food to sustain their population, including Western countries. And I think one of them, for example, would be Ireland. So if trade starts breaking down, you're going to be talking about places where people are going to be going hungry. I'm talking like this is going to be bad.
So Australia, we import 30% of our food is imported. America, 60%. These are numbers off the top of my head. It could have changed recently. But it was a separate occasion. I was researching this about 2 years ago, and that's what it was then. It may have changed now, but that's what it was then. So That's a lot of fucking people. And it's not like if that cuts off, we can start growing it here. If it cuts off, it's done. We can't just immediately the next day generate that food. It doesn't physically exist. There's no infrastructure for it. That's why we get it outsourced, essentially. Yep. And America too. America's worse because there's a 60%. And 60% of 350 million is a fucking big number. I'm going to probably look it up. So I know
a lot of potatoes.
That's a lot of people, man.
So, and there's the kicker. So you've got all these bad things going wrong. So the world's going to be an absolute shambles. So what's the answer to this? A worldwide debt reset. Because everyone's going to be in massive debt. So we reset the debt of everybody worldwide. What's the catch? We take ownership of all your property, all your assets, absolutely everything you own. What do you get in return? You get to live life again. You get a universal basic income that you can use to support and sustain yourself. But the third kicker on this will be that you also have to take part in all of their vaccination programs, because when this COVID vaccine comes out, we're going to see a lot of people take it. We're going to see a lot of people refuse it. We're going to see a lot of people kind of in the middle, like, I don't know if I should take it or not. Are these people just being conspiracy theorists? Maybe it's kind of safe. And it's going to be hard for us to really know until it's been out for quite some time. I have some suspicions that maybe sometime after the COVID vaccine is when we see the mutated virus, and maybe the vaccine might have something to do with that. But that's maybe very conspiratorial. But look, that's essentially going to be what the Great Reset's going to be in a nutshell. That's how it's going to be, where they seize all of our assets and all of our property, but they wipe our debt slate clean, but we become a slave to the state. And the other thing that's going to be a part of your universal basic income is going to be your social credit score. Don't think that they're not already tallying up your social media posts, putting together your social credit score, because those systems are coming. It's not just China. The social credit system is coming to your doorstep. So I don't know. What are you posting on social media these days? You might want to be careful.
Oh, well, in that case, this guy is going to be fucked. This is Tim Dillon, man. This is hilarious.
Tim Dillon, yeah.
So he's fucking hilarious. This is him ripping on Bill Gates and his vaccine. Also, after this video, I want to talk to you about Trump and him fucking miraculously getting cured. But we'll watch this first.
I'm take my mask down, but don't tell anybody. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is so grateful that you and your household have decided to participate in our trial. Halloween is our favorite holiday. There are so many little lab rats running around. We are excited to present children with the greatest Halloween candy of all, survival. That's right. We've got the treats, baby. We've worked long and hard, several weeks, on this experimental vaccine, and we are super excited about it. Now you're saying
weeks.
Maybe the children.
We've worked weeks on this.
Several weeks.
Get a little kids don't like needles. Well, that's true. Just like there are tricks to get children to eat their vegetables, there are tricks to get them to be responsible citizens. I'm going to show you one right now. So look at this. It's a bowl of candy. Is it? Or is it the end of COVID? Just put your little paws in there and grab all you can. Bill and Melinda are so excited about the future that they couldn't be here today. They're in an undisclosed location preparing to They have left you in good hands. Here at the Gates Foundation, we realize that some of you are so excited about the future, we're going to have to put you in restraints. But we'll do that.
Oh, man. I'm in tears every time I watch that motherfucker.
It's funny
he's so on point, man. Yeah, he nails it, man. He nails it.
We're in trouble. That's all. When that vaccine comes along, we're in trouble. That's like all I got to say. Like, well, no matter what side of the fence you're on, we're actually all in trouble.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, there's no way any vaccine in the world is going to get approved within a year. Like, it can't happen. It can't fucking happen. But what I want to talk to you about
the gold standard, they're going to approve it.
Yeah, FDA, man, FDA approved, because they're fucking reliable fucking sources. What do you think about Trump getting it and then fucking next day, 4 days later, being fucking cured? Which take on that one?
Well, I thought it was 3 days, and I mean, like, I think Tim Dillon said it. But I think Tim Dillon said it best, which was like, he's the risen Christ. But no, I won't give him that title. fully, but no, I think it's probably helped his election campaign too, because probably the biggest thing that the Democrats are trying to stunt against him was Trump's responsible for 200,000 COVID deaths. And he's now just beat it in 3 days and said, hey, you know, this virus is actually a piece of piss. Don't let it rule your life. I beat it in 3 days. And look, he's overweight. He drinks Coke, Diet Coke every day, eats Maccas every day.
Takes meth pills every fucking day.
Yeah, probably on fucking Adderall through the roof, and he kicks it in 3 days. So why should anybody, with a logical mind, be worried about this? So what are they saying? They're trying to say Biden's got 238 electoral votes, but you know why they do that? Who's this? This is Google.
Yeah.
Showing states, they're showing him with seats he hasn't actually won. I'm pretty sure. Like the balance.
Yeah. So I think what it's doing at the moment is it's not showing these ones yet. So it's not showing the ones that haven't got it. But if it was showing the ones that did have it, then Trump would win because, you know, oh fuck, Wisconsin just
that is,
it may be close now.
He doesn't need Wisconsin. The biggest one for Trump is going to be Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to be the biggest one. What's that? How's that looking right now?
He's winning by 700,000.
Now, there's apparently going to be a good amount of mail-in ballots, but the thing is, Pennsylvania is still taking mail-in ballots till the end of the week. Can you believe that?
Yeah, they reckon until Friday.
Until Friday. American Friday. So that's absolutely insane that they'd be taking the mail-in votes this late.
Yeah.
And they think there's going to be a massive opportunity for voter fraud there.
Man. Oh, I need to remember that guy's name that I was talking about before. Fuck. Can't believe I'm blanking on it.
What are the odds saying? I need to look at the actual odds at the moment. I'm getting a bit worried. I'm not worried, but I got some money on the Trump man. Oh, Biden's odds are a bit better now. They're looking a little better.
No, yeah. What are we looking at?
So Trump's paying $1.70, Biden $2.10. I think Trump's got this in the bag, though. I don't have much doubt in my mind about it. And look, if Biden wins the election, then the imminent end of the world that I've been describing is just going to happen quicker.
Oh, yeah. Biden's a big supporter of China, man. So whatever they say, yeah. Trump's paying $1.72 for ARC. So at the moment, the odds are in his favor. Oh, Project Veritas. I've just remembered. Project Veritas. Let's hope I spell this right. Veritas. I get it. Yeah, this is the one. So, oh, shit.
What does Wikipedia say about it? It's an American right-wing activist group.
Mate, ignore what the fuck.
I just want to read it. This group uses undercover. No, I know it's bullshit. Uses undercover techniques to reveal supposed liberal bias and corruption, and is known for producing deceptively edited videos. So, isn't this just what the Democrats do? Like they don't. Isn't this what the left do?
So
no, that's what the left do. No, what they're accusing them of doing to the left is what the left does.
Correct. Yeah. So this deeply deceptive edited videos, total bullshit. He, to this day, on his website, has a live update of how many times he's been falsely accused of stuff and how many times that's turned out to be true. He has a wall in his office now of all the times he's taken them to court and won and actually got them to rebuttal and take back and make amendments to what everyone's claimed against him. So to this day, since he started, he has zero false reporting for everything he's put out, for his whole thing. Zero. He has a wall of shame in his office where he shows everyone who's written false articles about him and he hangs their picture up. It's fucking hilarious. But still to this day, zero of the shit he's put out has come back. It's nuts. Let's check it out. Project. It doesn't even come up. Classic. There was one here. I don't know why it's not showing it, but he's been going undercover and filming the voter fraud in recent videos. Here you go. But yeah, check this out. Let's just watch this one real quick.
I don't have any sound coming through.
Just look what it says down the bottom. Retraction number 325. That's how many times they tried to falsify this guy. Zero have stuck, man. What the fuck?
I
don't know why the
audio.
fuck Wikipedia says that. Oh shit. Classic.
It'd be nice if you could just like turn it on, like rather than like unshare and reshare.
It's a bit annoying. Hopefully they'll fix that in updates.
Our journalism method. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Project Veritas headquarters in the infamous Wall of Shame, where the journalist reputations go to die, where journalists print retractions and corrections about Project Veritas and articles questioning our journalism ethics. That's why it's ironic. That's why we make a big deal out of it. And that's why there are so many retractions on this wall. Today's retraction goes to Judd Legum. Judd Legum of
Popular.info.
Popular.info. I've never heard of that before, but I guess it's popular.
He's coming at you.
Judd Legum reports, quote, originally, quote, this latest Project Veritas investigation on ballot harvesting is a combination of blatant misinformation and wild accusations with no factual support. Wild accusations with no factual support, which is precisely what Judd Legum was doing by making that very statement. So Judd Legum was forced to print a correction about specifically the Minnesota law. This is going back to the Minnesota video that we did, showing all the ballots in the car. It's against the law to have more than 3. Judd Legum begged to differ. He had to correct it. And here's what it said, quote, my initial tweets didn't make the distinction and I apologize for the error. I wanted to make sure people had an accurate understanding of Minnesota law. Well, you didn't give people an accurate representation. In fact, after the primary, the court reimposed the limit for the general election. And in fact, what Levon did in the tape there with all those ballots on his lap was in fact illegal. So now Judd Legum has to print a correction. Correction, this piece has been updated with information about the Minnesota Supreme Court's September 4th decision and corrected an error about the current state of Minnesota law. Judd Legum committed more errors in this one tweet and article than Project Veritas has committed in our entire career, which is, of course, ironic. And that's why Judd Legum is going to get the alpaca treatment.
Yeah, it's nuts. There's let's see if there's one video I was watching here. Oh fuck, where did it go? It just came out. I think there's this lady here, and she's like legit being caught telling people how to vote. So she'll go around their house and literally show them and tell them what to put on their fucking ballots before she takes the ballot.
We have new video that has led to allegations of an election fraud scheme right here in Bexar County.
Allegations of an election fraud scheme in Bexar County.
Possibly illegal ballot harvesting schemes uncovered by Project Veritas.
Investigando estas acusaciones de fraude tras el video publicado por Project Veritas.
They are looking into this video that came out today from Project Veritas.
Project Veritas released the video. A political consultant in town allegedly talking an elderly woman into changing her mail-in vote. Project Veritas
and then bribed her.
She gave a gift, a shawl, to this woman and
My
helped
God.
vote from one candidate to another.
We have to release our stories now because we're running out of time before the election day. And these sorts of voter fraud situations could sway the election here in Texas.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man.
Well,
like
Trump actually had a hard time winning Texas. He barely won Texas, which should have been like a straight shooter for him.
Yeah, it really should have, which makes me think that after this election, he's going to fucking look into it and find out how much of that was fucking fraud. Because if anything that Veritas has been going off, it very much seems like it is, man. Which
that's the scary thing. Like the big thing about Trump winning, apparently, is going to be Pennsylvania, and he's got a big lead there. But come in a ballot full of voter fraud, and they've got till Friday to keep up with their bullshit fraud. I mean, these Democrats could pull it off. Who's your take for the election?
Man, I think that whole system's a joke, to be honest. But I hope, man, I don't know. I think they're both pieces of shit. I don't think either of them is better than the other one. But, one of them didn't make the fucking private prison system the largest it's ever been and increase it by 25%. One of them didn't start 7 illegal wars, and one of them, hate to say this, but didn't make the drone program as big as it fucking was. One of them didn't give a shit ton of money and leeway to the NSA to keep spying on everyone. One of them did all those things, and apparently he's fucking got the majority of the vote for some fucking reason. So
because people aren't aware.
And he bailed out the fucking banks instead of bailing out the people when the fucking GFC hit. He's by all metrics that you measure good guys and bad guys, this guy is literally on the side of evil for every fucking decision he makes. War starter, private prisons. Okay, private prisons are literally slavery. Okay, banking. He bailed out the banks instead of people. Like every metric that you measure someone's good or bad, this guy is on the evil side of every time, and somehow he's fucking winning. Well, allegedly fucking winning. I mean, what the fuck? Who is voting for this guy? Who the fuck is voting for this guy? And what, the other guy's a fucking douchebag billionaire. Like, that's better, but I mean, a lot's better than that. A lot's better than that. So that's not fucking saying much at all, man.
Not to mention this.
Yeah, hold up, let me add it. Yeah, he's so creepy, bro. He's so creepy.
She's so scared.
Man.
All right, nice to see you guys. Thank you. See you back home, I hope.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, see you back home, I hope. Yeah. Like, look at her face. Watch her face.
Thank you.
All right, nice to see you.
Oh man, that's fucking creepy.
Not to mention his son. His son got caught with that laptop, the child porn.
Did it have child porn on it? Holy fuck, man!
And it's FBI proven, but they still took it all the way off the internet. Yeah, this is why I had to put my money on Trump. This is why I had to put my money on Trump. Like the eye test.
Look at that.
The eye test tells me Trump's got this. Bar voter fraud, Trump's got this.
Yeah, like look at that. Look at that. There's like 10 fucking people in this event. It makes no sense. How the fuck is this douchebag winning? How?
I could bend her for about 5 days straight and still have a brain with more cognitive ability than Joe Biden. I don't know how that guy is even in the race to be a president of the United States right now.
Yeah.
And I actually think the Democratic Party, from what I understand, I don't follow American politics too closely, but from what I understand, the Democrats try to portray themselves as being for everybody and try to say the Republicans are racist. From what I understand, the Democrats are the most racist party in like any Western country. Like they're literally out there telling black and Hispanic people, like,
you're not black.
No. You're not black if you don't vote for the Democrat. It's like you can't tell a black person how to think unless you think they're still slaves, because it was the Democrats that introduced slavery and it was the Republicans that actually abolished it.
Yes,
it's in their history, man. It's all the way through their party lines.
Yeah. It's so true, man. It's so true.
Politics is fucked all around, but I don't think Trump's a bad guy. I think he's actually done a lot for America, and I think at the end of his presidency, sure, as he said some dumb things that have been clipped and sound baited and then spun every single way by the media. Sure, I legitimately believe, and I don't even understand that much about Trump, but I legitimately believe that once his time in office is done, people will be able to look back at him and be like, wow, that was literally one of the greatest presidents we ever had.
Better than Abraham. Oh, man. Nice. And a peace trade deal. He bought a fucking peace trade deal.
Of literal biblical
the UAE. Yeah, the UAE and fucking Israel, man. And he fucking got that done.
Trump is fulfilling Bible prophecy. Right. He's fulfilling Bible prophecy doing that. Not just that. Do you know what they called that deal? The Abraham Accord. Because they all come from nations that came from the descendants of Abraham. So, yeah, that was the name of the deal.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts. And that doesn't get talked about. Like, and Korea, North Korea, he got a fucking deal signed there as well. You're telling me Clinton would have done that? No fucking way. Man.
I think he's one of the only US presidents in like the last, ever that like hasn't actually gotten America into a new war.
Oh, bro, he's so fucked up. He's so like it's so. I mean, the system is so fucked up. So like, he's done. Man, I don't know everything he's done. I'm sure there's bad shit he's done, but why is good stuff getting reported? And I mean, the way he handled COVID too. There's everyone said keep everything open, and he wanted to shut it down. And if they did shut it down at the beginning, it would have saved. You know, who's to know how many
individual governors of each state are responsible for their own restrictions, kind of like what we have here in Australia. And from what I understand, it's the Democratic states that are actually the worst in handling it.
Yeah, man, they've completely fucked up. They've completely fucked up.
Oh, and it's also the Democratic states that are all on fire because they've got some protesters. Which, by the way, I think for the next Victorian protest, and this is what I suggested, if the police want to like circle in on us, we should just start a Black Lives Matter chant, and then what will happen is they will instantly all take the knee, and we'll be free to go.
You need to get a fucking journalist pass and go there and start filming, man.
That's what this is my plan with my Trump winning. So once Trump wins the election and I win money from Trump winning the election, I'm going to legit make my podcast a legitimate business. Although like I won't be making any money from it, but I will actually make it a company, and then hire myself as a journalist, give myself the working papers, and I will be at every single event reporting from the front lines. But if I get arrested, then that's the easiest lawsuit in the world. Now, already those fines I've got, they're not being paid. I'm contesting them to court, and I already know that they're not going to go to court because I know that no fines that have been given for any of the public health directions have actually gone to court yet.
Well, this is not legal advice, but if they drop those when you threaten to take it to court, that means you've won, which means if you take it to court, odds are you're going to fucking win and you'll be able to get paid for their fucking crimes that they've committed. So,
well,
balls in your court, man, but I think the odds are on your fucking side.
And it'd just be so easy if I got arrested as a journalist with working papers to really contest and make life a lot easier. It might also mean I might get out because there was a moment where they did let all the journalists out of the circle from yesterday. They did allow that, and I think they realized, if we go arresting journalists, we might be effed up. Now, I've actually heard the police also telling, all these events, 7 News is there, 9 News is there, 10 News is there, and it's great. There's this one clip of Cassie from 7 News. She's reporting at the shrine, and then a group of protesters are just all, they're like, what do they start just yelling at or something like, tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. But no, I've heard one independent journalist who got arrested actually at Treasury Gardens on Saturday. The police officer said to him, we know who you are, because he's got his own working permits and everything. He does it for his own business. They said, we know who you are. Don't come to these events.
Wow.
So they're trying to stifle out the independent journalism. They only want mainstream media's take, which, by the way, Treasury Gardens, where 15 of us got arrested by like 200 odd officers. This is literally the headline from 7 News, and I can literally say it verbatim. This is how ridiculous it was. Hundreds of heavily armed police officers swarming on protesters, arresting 21 of them. The protesters were protesting the lockdowns in Victoria and also claiming that it's become a police state. Yeah. Just go back to the first line of your headline. Hundreds of heavily armed police officers swarming on protesters, protesting that Victoria's become a police state.
Man, there's a total breakdown right now. It's so fucking strange. Like, seriously, like up here in Queensland, we got none of that shit, man. Like, I'm hoping our fucking cops are just well trained. Like,
I hope
they
so.
at least know what's going on, because I think our cops are just telling them to fuck off if anything comes down like that.
You guys did just re-elect Palaszczuk, though. She's a piece of work.
Man, yeah.
I mean, not that you had much better options, but Palaszczuk's a piece of work. You had Ricardo Bosey for the A1, Australia One party, being independent from Nicklin. Now, Australia One's going to be a political party in Australia to look out for in the future, because Ricardo Bosey I've got his book. I've been listening. He does a weekly podcast with this guy I know, Joel Jamal. And Ricardo Bozzi's the real deal. And he's only just started his political party. That was his first time trying to run for a seat for his party. He didn't do too bad, but obviously he didn't get his seat. But he was only campaigning for like a handful of weeks, and like because his popularity's gone through the roof. I recommend go checking out some of Ricardo Bozzi. Australia One is and if you listen to his podcast that he does with Joel, it's called The Arc. You can find it on YouTube. It's called The Arc with Ricardo Bozzi on Joel Jamal YouTube channel. Every week they jump on. You get to learn about Ricardo. He's talking about, you know, this is going to be the party policies. This is how it's going to work. It's going to be very different to any party that is in power in Australia right now. And I think it's going to be the only way we get out of this hole. And he very well knows the globalists are coming for Australia. In fact, our leaders have already made plans with the globalists trying to play out their agendas. And part of his policies as well is going to be to cut ties with that. And actually anybody who's made these allegiances with these globalist organizations, or if they serve secret societies over the actual society itself. He said anybody that can be caught in treason when his party gets into power, they'll be hung. Because we actually do still have capital punishment for treason. And he is saying that if his party gets into power, if they catch anybody that's been trying to sell Australia out like that, they're getting it done. And you know what? Fair enough, man, because I don't know how. Look, hopefully the rest of Australia doesn't get quite as bad as Victoria. But right now, Victoria is as good as fucked.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with webcam there, but yeah, isn't the A1 party? Isn't that the Ranger lady, the Pauline Hanson?
No. You're thinking One Nation, Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
although I've never followed Australian politics that closely before. I know heaps of people are mad as fuck about Pauline Hanson. I've listened to a bit of what she's had to say more recently. She actually sounds like her head's screwed on better than like most other Australian politicians. And that's not to defend everything that she's ever done or said, but I'm not even fully aware of all that stuff. I know a lot of people hate her and try and call her racist and all these other things, and maybe she's made some bad decisions in her time. But when I was listening to her a few months ago talk about a lot of the issues going on in Australia, I was like, she's spot on the money with what she's saying right here. And every other politician in Australia should be fucking ashamed of themselves because they're being outdone by Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, that's when shit's fucking bad, when that fucking lady's beating you. Holy shit. Yeah, actually I was chatting to a lady the other day. I won't say her name because I'm trying to get her on the podcast. But she was she got in a heap of shit because she got swindled out of millions of dollars of trying to help people. And she tried to take it to government, tried to take it to the feds, tried to take it to Interpol, the FBI. She's taken it pretty much everyone. Everyone kept knocking her back. And she mentioned to me, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago or something like that, this dude here, Ricardo Bozzi, actually contacted her and tried to talk to her. And then apparently, this is all, you know, third person hearing here. So apparently after she told him what had happened, he immediately just got disinterested and then left it alone. So what the fuck, man? So I don't know how legit that is, but she's got a lot of stuff to back it up. She sent me all the articles and everything she sent off to him, all the correspondence. There's one article, man, this is fucking hilarious, bro. The she contacts the what's our Fed called? The RBA. Yeah. So she contacts them and says, this is what happened. My money was stolen, millions of dollars. Okay, stolen. And then she gets the response back from the Reserve Bank, and they say the monetary system in Australia is not our responsibility. She's got an email from them. Like, I'm pretty sure that's your only fucking job, actually. And she's literally got it writing from them that's not their fucking problem.
Is this to do with the bail-in laws? I've heard about these bail-in laws. I haven't read them myself, but there's these bail-in laws that allows the banks to take your money. And then what happens is it's illegal for you to ask where the money is gone, and it's illegal for them to tell you where it's gone. They just strip you of your money.
That's fucking bullshit. Yeah, so they're trying it out in Greece and Ireland quite soon. So it'll depend how it goes there. But yeah, so you got to bail out, which is where the tax money pays out the banks, which is what happened in 2008 in GFC. And then now what they're trying to do, because they can't do that again, now what they're trying to do is what's called a bail-in, which is where they take money that exists already inside the banks, aka inside your accounts, and they can literally take the money straight from your fucking account to pay off their debt.
Yeah. Think about that. Think about that, Australia. When I'm talking about the Great Reset, they already have the power to wipe your bank account, and you can't be none the wiser. You got nothing. You got no legal remedy. You got no avenue to find out where that money's gone or to even reclaim that.
Well,
think about that.
All money's fucking fake anyway. Like, it's not based off anything anymore. It used to be off gold and fucking resources. Now it's not based off fucking anything. It's literally fugazi. Like, it's just made up.
It might be time to buy Bitcoin. like at least
if you don't already have it yet.
If I at least yeah, maybe I should get on that shit. But no, even just to stop money from getting wiped out of my bank account. I mean, who knows? Well, it's crazy. Should we wrap this up a minute?
Man. I'm keen to head. I'm gonna have dinner because I'm fucking starving. But that was good, man. I'm sorry you got fucking arrested, bro. But
not quite arrested. I was processed, which means I was held in custody until they gave me my infringement notice.
Just for
like to see what they got to say in court. Like to see what they got to say.
Yeah, gonna be fucking interesting. Keep us updated, man. Can you do this again soon?
Will. Shall do, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Good night. Catch you later.
You too.
You too, man.
Peace out, man.